there's still very much a kind of after Lord Mayor's show kind of this season and this Europa League campaign is kind of like the kind of lesser kind of lights than the Champions League. It's still hanging over Celtic. You can't. There's no escaping it. The backdrop is this silent protest thing going on. Obviously, it's escalating tomorrow night. 29 minutes of silence apparently from kickoff. How that goes down or how it works out, we don't really know. It didn't really make much impact in terms of the 12 minutes on Saturday against Hibs. But it's kind of there because obviously a European night at Celtic Park is kind of renowned for the atmosphere. That's Celtic's thing really. So you take that away from the equation, and it is a talking point. So I mean, that's what Rodgers was asked about. Like, what does it change for him, or how does he cope with it? How does the team deal with it? What does it mean for the opposition team? Who we've seen teams coming here and been a bit spooked by it, to be honest. So it's been a kind of, listen, Rodgers is kind of appealing for kind of unity, and he hopes that eventually everyone can kiss and make up. But it's still saying, I understand.
Was he asking for the fans to bury the hatchet with the board today?
No. He's an expert at dancing through minefields, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically saying, I understand why they're upset, brackets, because I am too. But hopefully some point soon we can all be together again and a big happy family and everyone's lovely double again. But he understands the reasons why some of the fans are unhappy, because it's the same reasons he's unhappy. I mean, so he's not going to say they're wrong, guys, just ditch your protests and come back on board. But at the same time, he would like to have Celtic Park at its best on a European night, intimidating visiting teams, inspiring his own team, and just creating an all-round environment that these teams have in the past. They're flourished. We look back, we talked about it as well. Look back about a year ago to the kind of Leipzig game here, when Celtic, the atmosphere was rocking, the performance was energetic. It was everything he wanted to see. And you go on 11 months and you think that Celtic's now kind of gone. They're still kind of desperately searching for a kind of winning formula. They're not scoring goals. I'm not saying they're not scoring the same volume of goals, but it's just not the same Celtic as it was 10, 12, 11 months ago. Or even you can get back to kind of January, February. So it's a wee bit of a kind of, I'm not saying a miserable kind of environment right now, but it's a bit low key. It's a bit kind of down the dumps. It's a bit kind of, okay, well, let's try and give us a bash in the Europa League. But I wouldn't say it's like a thriller-minute environment right now at Celtic. It remains to see how this protest will go tomorrow night. I can't see what good. I mean, to be honest with you, if you're the Celtic board and they're saying they're going to be silent for half an hour, and they're not going to be quite happy that the fans are quite silent, at least they're not shouting "sank the board." So I don't think that's going to have an impact. Listen, if it goes badly wrong and during that period, then maybe that you could say that's an influence. I don't think you can blame that on the pitch either, because they've got a team there's no excuses really in terms of the atmosphere. It's a bit of a sideshow. I just think that this is not going to go away for the Celtic board. This anger and kind of standoff is not going to go away. But I think what's going to happen is I think results might keep it going rather than these kind of ideas about protesting. So I don't think these are going to have much impact. But if there's a few bumps on the road, which I think there will be with this team, then it's going to heighten again. So it's not going anywhere, is it? Really?
No. This is the thing.
What'll happen weird if Celtic go and score 2 goals in the first 20 minutes tomorrow night? That's going to be a weird situation.
I was going to say, what do you need to do? Put your hand over your mouth, leave the stadium?
No, listen. I think the kind of the advice is in these kind of from Celtic Collective have put out this kind of thing idea. This group of fans groups. I think it's you can cheer a goal, you can clap, you can talk. It's not a sponsored silence. I think it's just they're not going to be singing any songs or banging drums and all that kind of stuff. So again, it's a bit. I don't think this is it. I mean, I get the right to protest, and there's various ways of doing it. I'm not sure this is going to be the most effective one. I think results on the pitch might ramp things up if it goes wrong. If it goes right, you might see the kind of protest thing going by the wayside until the next bump in the road. But yeah, so it's a wee bit kind of a bit cloudy just now, isn't it?
You're not alone, Mick, and not kind of seeing the, not buying into the silent protests. A lot of comments coming in from Celtic fans now. Let me throw a few of them at you. John says the silent protest won't help the team in the park tomorrow night. We need another way to protest at the board. Red cards to the board, he asks. Stephen says, there are other ways to get to the board, but silence is a big no for me. John again says other fan groups will break the silence and get behind the team. And just aside from that, Rab says Rodgers gave up in February, should put his notice in, gone in the summer. Same with the board. And this one I just liked. Rebel, who's a regular on the show, says Brendan likes Mick. He always replies with Michael before he replies. He likes you, Mick. So there you go.
I don't know. Who knows? He knows
He does give you plenty of name checks, Mick. You're right.
It's just
a
because
very cosy relationship you've got with him.
Just because I've been pestering him for the best part of 10 years. So it's familiarity breeding contempt, probably. But listen, I don't think there's a unity in the stands in terms of the silent protest. I think everyone's on board with it. And a lot of people, listen, a lot of Celtic fans are angry, disappointed, just in general, I've fallen in love with the board.
Scunnered.
They just want to go to the game and enjoy the football, though.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to, there has to be some sort of detachment from that. They want to go to the game and have the experiences that they usually go to the game, especially a European night, which are usually good fun in these parts. So yeah, it's a bit of a kind of jumbled up mess at the moment in terms of on and off the pitch at Celtic. And in the background, they've got a pretty tough European tie to deal with, and they need to get a kind of win, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, Mike. In our business, in the newspaper business, there's an old kind of, it's a bit cynical probably, but there's an old line: if a newspaper is thinking about launching a campaign, then there's an old rule that is applied: never launch a campaign if you don't think you're going to be winning it. If you can't win, if you're not almost certain that you will win it. And I think this one's a difficult one for the Celtic supporters. This is their campaign. And if your manager is going out in front of cameras, microphones, with his hair on fire saying, I'm getting leaked against, there's somebody in this club leaking against me and I want him found out and I want him escorted off the premises and I want him to resign. And if the manager coming out and saying that doesn't end in change and doesn't end with somebody's head rolling, what chance have the fans got by going and doing anything for 29 minutes? That to me, if Brendan Rodgers by doing that can't affect change in the boardroom, this protest ain't got to do it either.
Well, that's the thing, and I think there is a kind of feeling amongst a lot of supporters that a bit of kind of how futile it actually might be, that the Celtic board are pretty entrenched. And listen, they will come back and say they've delivered 13 out of 14 league titles, countless cups, the Champions League and all that stuff. I think they've underperformed in Europe. There's no doubt about that. But they will say there's been a period of dominance in Scotland like unseen before.
Correctly so, mate.
Aye, so they were thinking, why should we step down because the fans are happy we spent a certain amount of money or when they spent it, and they've kind of come out and backstepped on their kind of 9 o'clock 3 bottles of wine statement that came out a couple of weeks ago. They kind of took a back step with the kind of statements and the financial figures a wee bit. The usual lessons to be learned and all that stuff, and things didn't quite go to plan, but usual stuff. So the chances of the people, I mean, they're calling for the heads of Peter Lawwell, Michael Nicholson, poor Chris Mackay getting dragged into it as well, finance director. But Dermot Desmond's the man in charge. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. So there's a certain kind of futility about it, I think. And a lot of fans recognise that as well. So they're trying to do different things to see if they can put pressure on these guys in the positions of power. But when it gets them, I'm not entirely sure. Celtic board have been experts at kind of riding out storms. They had it the COVID season. They can batten down the hatches and just ride it out and hope the results take over at some point. And it's kind of worked for them. Anytime they hit a bumpy patch, they've been bailed out by success on the pitch, trophies, flag days, celebrations, cup wins, the odd European result here and there. At this point in time, I think that the cycle has to be broken. I think there is a kind of feeling that I'm not buying that anymore. The cup wins, the league wins, and all that stuff, because there has to be some sign of ambition at the club. They have to do better in Europe because they're fed up getting embarrassed at the highest level. So unless Celtic go a run to the kind of semi-finals of the Europa League this year, I don't think it's going to go away. I don't think they're equipped to do that this year in the Europa League. So Yeah, it's a bit of an impasse. Where it goes, I don't know. I just get the feel this is going to be a grumpy season in general for everyone at Celtic Park.